Welcome back to Perfectly Average Golf and my personal top public golf courses list in the Western North Carolina area. I've had the pleasure of playing just about every public course from Lake Lure to Black Mountain and as far deep as the Smoky Mountains itself. And in my opinion, these are the best courses for both locals and visitors alike looking to take advantage of golf in the Asheville area. Number 13, Broadmoor. I know it's weird to do a top list starting at 13, but it felt weird not to mention one of the most played courses in the area. As the immediate Asheville area only has 3 public courses, Broadmoor is by far the most accessible option for the everyday golfer. This is the only golf course that hosts any sort of a practice facility containing a full driving range, extensive pitching area including a practice bunker, and 2 separate putting greens. The course itself offers tee box options ranging from 6,700 plus yards, and it plays as a par 72 course, rating 72.8 with a slope of 139. It is also one of the only courses on the list that features significant water on the majority of the holes. The reason for its lower ranking though comes due to its high average green fees compared to its generally okay conditions and mediocre layout. At its most expensive, the course charges up to $60 and as low as $40. However, you can find the course listed on Golf Now, and there are usually some decent hot deal rates which are available, and I would definitely suggest it. Compared to its counterparts in Western North Carolina though, the course is rather bland. As the course neighbors the airport, overhead planes are extremely common, and the layout is tremendously flat and offers no views of any of the nearby mountain ranges. Overall, it's a great option if you can find it as a hot deal, or if you're looking for a good option for practice reasons. Other than that, there's nothing particularly special about this course, and largely it gets away with its rates due to its convenience and position between its public competitors of Asheville Municipal at $30 and the Grove Park Inn at nearly $150. Number 12, Cummings Cove. Similar to Broadmoor, it's hard to ignore Cummings Cove as it boasts a great public reputation and is always a fun play. Situated in Hendersonville, about 30 minutes south of Asheville, Cummings Cove is a semi-private golf course that plays only at 6,085 yards at its longest, by far one of the shortest courses on the list. But don't let the shorter length deceive you. The course still holds a slope of 133 and can play longer at times with some of the uphill holes that it hosts. The course is also utterly unforgiving, where if you miss the fairway, you are either in a dense forest or off the side of a cliff. Around at Cummings Cove can run you as high as $60 and as low as $45, but like Broadmoor, you can often find hot deals on Golf Now for around the $35 mark. So why the low ranking? The course is a shot maker's course. Long hitters will have a tough time finding holes to even think about hitting driver on, likely only pulling out the big stick 3 to 4 times in total. This results in a lot of 200 yards one way, 200 yards another type of hole layouts. Also, for a mountain course with tons of rolling elevation, the course only holds a few notable views of the distant mountains, and it all comes between holes 16 and 18 for only a brief stint. Neither of these things are necessarily bad, but when you're crossing T's and dotting I's when comparing other courses in the area that are set up similarly, Cummings Cove misses on some of the luster and layout that other courses boast. I would still suggest giving this course a play, especially if you're local, but is it a course that has you yearning to come back? In my opinion, not necessarily. Also note this course only offers a hitting net for warm-up swings and only a small practice green. Number 11, Apple Valley. The first of 2 courses in Lake Lure that make the list, Apple Valley is part of the Rumbling Bald Collective, which includes a second 18-hole course at Bald Mountain, as well as a resort with stay-and-play packages in a wonderful area of Western North Carolina. The course tips out as one of our longer on the list, as it tips at over 6,600 yards. It also rates as the second hardest course at a 73.2 with a formidable 144 slope. The high-end greens fees for Apple Valley will run you roughly $70, but the course can be found as cheap as $45 depending on the time that you play. The only downside to both courses in Lake Lure is that neither of them are listed on Golf Now, so there are no extra opportunities for cheaper deals. Apple Valley does provide a full driving range and a full putting green for you to get warmed up for your round, although the range itself is small and only holds around 4 golfers at a time. The course when I played was in great condition and actually boasted some of the fastest greens that I had played in a long time. The layout is also pretty captivating. With a very open feel on the front 9, you'll have the green light for driver all over the place, whereas on the back, you'll finish with a more tighter, more narrow feel where accuracy will be rewarded off the tee. Overall, this course is a super fun challenge and offers some really unique views of the lower Lake Lure Valley and is absolutely worth at least one playthrough. Number 10, Mount Mitchell. At the highest point east of the Mississippi River, Mount Mitchell is by far one of the most fun, enjoyable layouts on the list. Ranging at 6,300 yards and only rating at a flat 70, it's also one of the easier courses in the area. The course is not listed on Golf Now, so your greens fees will range between $45 and $55 depending on the day and time you're looking to play, but the course also offers stay and play packages for those looking to do more than golf in the Mount Mitchell area. The downside to this course is the lack of practice facility and the unbelievable amount of crabgrass that had run rampant through the entirety of the course, at least when I was there. I'll give some leeway considering when I came out to play there had been an insane amount of rain for weeks, but still, it was a considerable turnoff. If that issue were to be taken care of, this course would have easily pushed into the top 5 and 100% be worth the extensive drive to get there. The course is flooded with gorgeous scenery and incredible backdrops to the point where there are multiple holes that can be argued as the signature of this unbelievably serene course. Number 9, the Grove Park Inn. As part of the Omni Resort Complex, there are certain things that you should come to expect from the Grove Park. 5-star accommodations and conditions, but with that, also a 5-star cost. A round at the Grove Park can get as steep as $170 on weekends and normally sits around the $80 to $100 mark depending on the season. The good news is you can get your hands on some hot deals from Golf Now every so often, and that can sometimes get as low as around $50 to $60. Playing a very short 6,000 yards, this par 70 course rates at a 69.6 with a 128 slope. But don't let the distance again fool you. Your round will be made or broken on the greens, which are notoriously tricky to read while usually running extremely quick. In any normal situation, this course based on its conditions would be a top 3 pick. However, the views you get from the resort itself are pretty much absent from the course, which sits down in the neighborhood valleys below. That match with a relatively straightforward layout makes it really hard to justify the $170 price point, and likely is only set that high due to being affiliated with the resort, which caters to a very certain level of guest. Also note, there is only a hitting net for warm-up purposes. In my mind, this is a vastly overpriced $70 course, and my rating reflects that. Number 8, CLEGHORN. Here's the fun part about CLEGHORN. This is the only course on the list that is not immediately surrounded by a notable mountain range. Yet, you would never know it once you get on the property. The 6,800 plus yard course also plays as the second longest and hardest rated course on the list. With a rating of 73.8 and a slope of 135, trust me when I say you'll be tested from start to finish out here. At most, CLEGHORN ranges between $40 to $60, and there is a full range for pre-round usage. There is no listings on Golf Now, but the twilight rates in the summer are always a great budget option for an unbelievable course. One of my favorite things about this course lies with how different every hole is. There are wide open fairways, forced carries, and really fun scenery changes as you progress through the course, including a really serene and isolated back 9 that has a certain mystique to it. I kept it outside the top 5 because although it is a fun play and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone looking for a hidden gem golf course, this is again a course that doesn't have me particularly eager to prioritize coming back here compared to others on the list. Number 7, Bald Mountain. Featuring a set location used in the filming of Dirty Dancing, Bald Mountain boasts tons of personality, elevation changes, and some of the best hole backdrops on the list. Playing between 4,500 and 6,200 yards with a rating of 71.2 and a slope of 135, a round at Bald Mountain can range between $45 and $70 with no options on Golf Now. There is a range at the golf course, but it is only limited to irons only. Part of the pair of courses laid in Rumbling Bald near Lake Lure, Bald Mountain does more of what Apple Valley starts to hint at. With 2 dynamic sets of 9, the front plays wide open where driver can really reward your score, but the back 9 hits a very different feel like its counterpart with blissful views and extremely fun challenges laid out by the course's twists and turns. So if both courses are so similar, why Bald Mountain over Apple Valley? Really, it's dealer's choice, but for me, Bald Mountain will keep you thinking from start to finish, but will constantly distract you with some really rare views of the Lake Lure Valley that you do not get in Apple Valley. Plus, where else are you going to be able to say that you golfed on a movie set? Number 6, Springdale. Don't let the isolation of this course out in Canton deter you from making the trip. A little over a year ago, Springdale was wrecked by some serious flooding, knocking out all the bridges along the back 9. But back and now better than ever, Springdale sits just outside our top 5 courses in Western North Carolina. The recent renovations and new clubhouse facilities has also seen the price spike at Springdale, topping at almost $80 on the weekends, but you can regularly find rates closer to $50 normally and as low as $40 on Golf Now. The course plays pretty long, 6,800 yards with a 72.9 rating and a 134 slope. Expect lots of rolling fairways and a handful of shots that use the nearby mountains as their backdrop. The conditions are always solid here, but the price spike is a bit of a turnoff. Definitely a course worth a Golf Now hot deal though if you can secure one, and I will say I have not yet come back to this course since the opening of the new clubhouse and practice facilities, so yet to be determined on what that looks like for my book. Number 5, Reems Creek. This is arguably one of the most unique layouts I've ever played, let alone one that's in the area. Situated just north of Asheville, it's close enough to be an option for Asheville locals, while also being far enough away to escape and enjoy some surrounding mountainscapes. Tipping out at only 6,200 plus yards, and with a rating of 70.4 and a 133 rating, around here will cost you between $55 and $75. The course does offer a range, although it is going through some repairs, and long hitters will not be able to fully hit driver, as well as a large putting green filled with elevation changes that, trust me, you will need to get used to before you tee off. Once you're on the course, you'll be treated to great conditions on a very unique and different layout. You'll also quickly realize that if you're going to take advantage of the length and difficulty rating, you will need to be precise off the tee box. Tricky fairways, including very selective landing spaces on all of the par 4s, will have long hitters considering a wood over driver more often than not. The best part? All of that thinking is met by gorgeous long-range views of the Blue Ridge, as well as some great views on the course itself. Number 4, CONNESTEE Falls. CONNESTEE Falls is by far the best value golf course in the western North Carolina area. The conditions, views, dynamic elevation changes are mixed with gorgeous tee boxes and some of the most beautiful backdrops as you weave through the course. Playing at around 6,500 yards from the tips, the course also offers 5 different tee box options, which means it's by far the most flexible golf course on this list. Topping out at $60 on weekends, make sure you stop through Golf Now, as there are always hot deals available and they can drop as low as $30. Another shot maker course, you will have to be very accurate and selective when you're looking at every single shot in the course. Off the tee, driver's not always a given, and you'll have to bring some accuracy as there are steep fall-offs all around the majority of the greens out there. The difference between this course and one like CUMMINGS COVE is that even though the general length is a little bit still on the shorter side, this course is more forgiving of a layout if you do end up a little errant off the tee box. Number 3, Maggie Valley. The first of many in Waynesville, Maggie Valley sets up with 2 very different sets of 9. The front 9 plays through the valley itself with lots of neighboring fairways, great for forgiveness, and tons of flat terrain surrounded by the immediate mountains around it. The back 9 then will take you into the mountain range itself, providing tons of elevation changes and absolutely gorgeous views of, again, the immediate ridges and mountains around it. Tipping out at just under 6,500 yards and rating at a 70.4, a round at Maggie Valley can run you as high as $90 on weekends, but can often be grabbed around the $40 mark, if not cheaper, if you look towards Golf Now hot deals. I would say this course is a must-play, though, if you're looking to visit the area, and even better if you stay near or on the property itself. The property is unbelievably gorgeous, and the facility is comprehensive with a really cool driving range, chipping green, and separate putting green. Definitely bring your A game, though. As short as this course can play at times, it's definitely more deceiving than it looks. Number 2, Laurel Ridge. A semi-private course built into a country club community, Laurel Ridge is by far one of the most scenic courses in the area. With elevation changes and mountain vistas all around you at all times, it'll be hard to come out and not be distracted by the immense amount of views that you're going to encounter on the course. It'll cost you around $60 to get on the course itself, although some off-season and twilight rates can drop it down towards the $45 mark, but trust me when I say it is by far the most worthwhile cost-condition courses on the list. Laurel Ridge also plays as the longest course in the area from the tips, getting at just over 6,900 yards with a 72.4 rating and a whopping 142 slope. Trust me when I tell you, your game will be tested, most heavily off the tee box, as there are tough forced carries, tons of sloping fairways, blind tee shots, and even a 300-foot drop par 4 that will have you second-guessing your lines and club selections from start to finish. Number 1, Sequoyah National. Non-stop views from start to finish. This is by far the most spectacular property on the list, and the course conditions are always there to match. If you're looking for prime Smoky Mountain golf on an out-of-town visit or even as a day trip from nearby, you have to come to Sequoyah National. The course comes with a price tag though, as normally it stands around the $120 mark, but it is listed on Golf Now, and I've been able to secure tee times for as low as $50 every now and again. At the tips, the course will max out around 6,500 yards with a 71.3 rating and a 143 slope. but be wary of your club selection off the tee early, as there are a number of holes that list long but play extremely short due to the significant downhill layouts. There are also a number of greens that are drivable off the tee for longer hitters, which provides an inherent level of fun that you don't get in a lot of courses in the area. Sequoyah is by far the most memorable course that I've played since being in Western North Carolina, and I know that you will feel the same way, so if you get the chance to come out and experience, do it. It's absolutely worth every penny. So there it is, my personal top public golf courses that you can play in the Asheville and Western North Carolina area. Let me know in the comments below what you think, whether you agree or maybe even disagree with some of the courses that are on the list, or more so, maybe some that I left off completely. And if you're looking for vlogs, reviews, or other playthroughs of these courses, make sure you check out the channel for full 18-hole videos on all of these courses and more.